wonderful David Pearl. There he is. It's my absolute great pleasure to welcome you to the Worldwide Wonder. This is our last session of a 24-hour whirlwind. And I'm welcoming you from Brooklyn, the ancestral land of the Lenape people. And for context, I started Creative Mornings exactly 14 years ago here in Brooklyn because I wanted to find my people, kind, creative, generous people, and I found them. But I didn't just find them in New York. I actually found them all around the world. Creative Mornings is now a thriving community. In fact, we're the world's largest face-to-face creative community, and we're gathering in 224 cities and 67 countries all over the world every month. And and it's a pleasure to run this organization because I get to collaborate with wonderful people like David and his team.
Well, it's amazing that you're there as well. Vanessa, who is actually not on the call right now, she's watching on YouTube, had been saying for years, you've got to talk to this person, Tina Roth Eisenberg. She's amazing. And this Creative Mornings things, it's amazing. And when we finally did meet, it had the quality that we often get. I'm sure you recognize this amongst with other creatives, but when you meet people broadly in the creative community, even though you're strangers, there's a sense of kind of, I know you. And it was just wonderful to meet people who had been, developing a bit like in a different valley, in a parallel valley, this wonderful community. And when we met, Tina and I it was like we'd known each other forever. And today, this project that you're joining the culmination of resulted from that conversation, a sense that, you know what, let's do something together. Let's blow the conch, if you like. Let's summon the creatives from all over the world and let's exercise our imagination at a time when, let's face it, the world could do with better ideas, better futures. Yeah.
Or, I wouldn't even say better ideas. Yes, but I would say the beauty that I think both our organizations bring to this world, David, is that both organizations move us from fear to love. I do believe there's two states of being. It's either you're in fear or you're in love. And there's just such a lightness and curiosity that you and your team bring and sort of a playfulness that takes you out of fear and reminds you of sort of the inherent goodness and, that we're safe in ourselves. So I must say, I guess that's probably what resonates so deeply with both of us and how our organizations show up. And that makes me so happy.
I'm going to rewrite the website right now. That's such a beautiful description. As ever, Tina, you get right to the heart of the thing. It's so powerful what you said. So thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. But hey, I need to welcome the people on YouTube. Let's not forget about them. Hello, YouTubers. Even if you're not in our Zoom room, we're so happy you're here and you can totally follow along this entire workshop. And if you absolutely want in, I'm gonna go off script here. Email hello@creativemornings.com and we can probably send you the Zoom link if you absolutely want into the last round of the Zoom. And and we're recording this, right? Right, David?
We're recording this. It's 24 hours. Someone's got a lot of viewing to do. It's a 24-hour recording, and we're doing it partly for posterity, but also because there's been some extraordinary discoveries and insights. I'm sure you're going to add to them, and we wanted a safe place to keep them, so that's why we're recording.
Yeah. And in case you came on a little late and you just tuned in, you are at the Worldwide Wonder. We've been traveling westward around the globe since yesterday morning, 8:30 in New York City. And this is the last installment, the last time the baton has been passed on. I must say, as someone who's been putting on events for 14 years, it is very weird that when you're done with your event, you just continue right away. There was like usually a minute in between and then we will kick off again. It's quite an experience, I must say.
And I will say that is thanks to Kyle, who you will meet if he's still standing, and Philip and Vanessa and Anne and Alexa and all the people who've been working to make this thing look seamless. It's a really tricky thing to do.
Some of our team members have not slept.
Yeah. And we could still break the system. I've heard team number 16 is so talented and so creative that it might actually blow the fuses here. But listen, we thought of this as a bit of a wandathon. And you know how like at marathons, towards the end, loved ones will turn up and urge their friends towards the finishing line with cheering and with stimulus and energy bars. Well, we reached out to friends of ours around the world, inspiring, thoughtful, kind, curious, loving people, and asked them to record little messages for us. So I'm just going to introduce our final little message, which comes from a friend of ours, David Micklem, who is a theatre champion, a writer, and also the chairman of Street Wisdom. Occasionally we stop wandering around and we sit down, and when we have chairs, he sits in the chair. So he's the chairman and somebody who's very responsible really for Street Wisdom existing. He's been my mentor and friend for a long while throughout. So let's just hear what David has to say.
The sound is not working. Whoever's playing it, maybe try again.
Yeah, it's me. Let me try again.
There's often a little mute button at the bottom there, but if maybe we'll work with that. I talk about breaking the system. We'll move on and we'll come back to David before we actually do the walk. Why don't we do it that way?
Sounds good. So then let me hand baton actually to Casey. So somebody else figure it out for Casey. Maybe somebody else. Maybe Amanda, you can queue up the slides for later.
Hello.
Here, I got it. We're ready to go. We're ready to go.
Oh yeah, here he is. I recognize
I
him.
wonder because wondering helps me problem solve and generate. Hello, I'm David Micklem and I'm a wanderer. And I wander because wandering helps me problem solve and generate better ideas. I've been a lifelong wanderer and an advocate for the power of a good walk to help make sense of the world. Today I'm having a wander in my local park in Brixton, and I hope this isn't making you feel sick, as we spin around Brockwell Park. And as I do so, I'm thinking about the climate emergency and what I can do on my own and with my friends and family to live life more sustainably. I'm thinking about how to reduce my impacts on the planet and how to see the climate emergency not as an existential threat, but more as an opportunity to deploy my creative superpowers for the good of the planet. I'm thinking about our creativity and our imaginations and how we can do incredible things when we put our minds to them. I'm wondering what it will take to get more people to stand up and admit that we need radical change right now, that time is running out, and that we are incredible, and that when we walk and wander, we unleash our ability to imagine and create. When I walk, I tend to invent stories, fictions that help me understand the people I share this planet with, and stories of a better, fairer future. One that is bright and positive and full of hope. So I'm delighted to be part of this year's Worldwide Wander, and I encourage you all to wander and wonder and tell a better story about our futures, because we are amazing.
Well, that was lovely. I want him as my chair.
We'll loan him. We'll loan him.
Casey, I'm going to hand over to you. Casey is part of the Creative Mornings HQ team and will tell us a bit about Creative Mornings.
Awesome. That was so inspiring. I love the image of him walking through the field and like coming up with the stories for a better future. That was like a very beautiful thing to see first thing in the morning. So yes, I'm Casey, one of the community coordinators at Creative Mornings HQ. I've had such a good time these past couple hours, like these past 24 hours now, walking vicariously through everyone in the world. And now it's back to the morning. So the sun has risen, like just risen. I was like, is it going to be dark? But it's not. And it's just kind of hard to believe it's the last leg of these 16. So great job, everyone. And I can't believe we've been at this for 24 hours. So hello to all of the new friends on this call. And welcome to all of the Creative Mornings volunteers. I see some of you on this call this morning. So where I'm calling in from is Greenpoint, which is North Brooklyn, New York. Yesterday, I had the joy of walking really briefly with our partnerships manager, Krista. We share a neighborhood, so we got to meet up during the wander. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of this wonderful community and to get to support the people that make up this wonderful community. One of the biggest parts of my job is just getting to chat pretty much every day with our organizers all over the world and get like a peek into their world. So this is a beautiful extension of that. And another thing that I have the honor of doing is representing our communities that are waking up this hour. So right now we have 9 Creative Morning cities with us, from Portsmouth to Buenos Aires, Ribeirão Preto, and Sao Paulo. I think we also have Winnipeg calling in this morning. Does anybody see Winnipeg? They are having a walking event this morning. So is Portsmouth. So waving at you guys. Thank you so much for waking up with us. And if you want to check out the full list of cities that we've been walking with over these past 24, you can check it out at theworldwidewander.com. And if you haven't already, just take some time right now to rename yourself with your current city so that we can tell where you are when we inevitably spotlight you later. So you can use the 3 little dots at the top of your screen, like maybe like here, or maybe like here, or if you're on your phone, you just like press and hold it for a second and then renaming will show up. Just let us know where you're joining in from. I want to get the travel bug. Got to activate that a little bit. So I also am here to tell you a little bit about how Creative Mornings events work. So we have teams of volunteers in each of our chapters in this time zone and in all the other time zones. And they work tirelessly to organize speakers, volunteers, coffee, breakfast, AV, venues, all of the wonderful aspects that make a community event. There's a lot of moving pieces and people do amazing work together. So this is our Curitiba chapter in Brazil. This is our Montevideo chapter, really good energy for Montevideo. So our chapters host a creative talk once a month. Events are always free. That's something that we stand by. And in some cities, you'll have the opportunity to pitch an idea to the entire room or to hear a musician. We often have musicians opening the events. You can find collaborators, friends. Here's a photo from Rio de Janeiro. Here's Bengaluru. Pretty much the most important thing is that you're going to be among a diverse group of creative talent from your own community. So like I said, you'll find friends, maybe even a new travel buddy, which is really important because if you do like to travel, you can make Creative Mornings a part of your itinerary because we have Creative Mornings events in over 200 cities, nearly 70 countries. Here's an awesome event in Mumbai. Here's Islamabad. That looks like a really nice time. This is the really cute team in Brisbane, Australia. Woo! Jeju, South Korea. Really, really cool event space there. Someone in Melbourne got way up high for this one. Looks like a great little breakfast moment in Seoul. This is our Sydney team. Looks like something exciting is happening there. And that's the thing, like something exciting is always going down. This is 4 generations of hosts in Chicago. So that's just a bit of what you can expect at the next Creative Mornings event in your city. And if you don't have a local chapter, we really encourage you to start one if you'd like to. And if you are interested, if that sort of like makes little sparkles go off in the back of your mind, you can read more on our website. That's creativemornings.com. And in order to get to the place you need to go, just scroll all the way to the bottom of the page and click the Start a Chapter link. All right. So now that you've been introduced or reintroduced to Creative Mornings, we're going to check in with a local chapter. So this morning we are calling into Portsmouth, New Hampshire. All right, is Noelle with us? She's got people to wander in real life. Noelle, good morning. Hi.
Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Hello from Portsmouth.
The sky is blue. It looks great.
The sky is blue. I was actually just gonna flip my camera for a second here, show you where I am. I'm right on the water. That's the bridge that connects Portsmouth, New Hampshire to Kittery, Maine. And the sun is up. We are at the final close of the 24-hour wander. We're so happy to be here.
That's the shot right there. That's it. That sun rising right over the clouds. Are you kidding? That's so
I know.
You got the shot. That's awesome. So we just have a couple of questions for you this morning. So can you tell us about how you got involved in Creative Mornings?
Sure. I've actually been involved. This is our 7th year. We've been taking a little bit of a hiatus, but the Wander has sort of woken us up a little bit to re-engage and in many ways. And I got involved, actually, a friend of mine and local photographer colleague, Janab Hoffman, actually approached me, now 8 years ago, and said, "Hey, have you heard of Creative Mornings?" And surprisingly, I had. And she's like, "You want to do this? You want to start a chapter with me?" And we didn't have any sort of local Creative Mornings chapters. We are the founders of the Portsmouth, Kittery, and Seacoast chapter here in New Hampshire and Kittery, Maine. So we kind of bridge 2 states where we are. We're in a special spot.
Looks very special, the bridge. So tell us, how about a typical Creative Mornings event in your city?
Ooh. Well, like many Creative Mornings events, we have coffee and we have high fives and sometimes hugs, depending if the pandemic is behind us or not. And thankfully, we have had a very long-standing partner, the Music Hall and the Music Hall Lounge here in Portsmouth, which has been our venue. So we gather there one morning a month. Now that the virtual events are sort of behind us, sometimes we've gathered online as well with our virtual coffee and our virtual high fives. And we network and we talk and we laugh and we learn and we then welcome a speaker, and a speaker sort of joins us and enlightens us with their story, which can be anything from, we've hosted brewers and book writers and artists and teachers and students and vegetarians, like anyone, all types of different people sharing their story. And then we all leave energized and inspired and hopeful. And so that's a little bit about what happens at an average Creative Mornings event, but there's always the unexpected and there's always joy.
I love that. You mentioned a couple like vegetarians and writers, and
yeah,
is there a speaker that sticks out in your memory amongst all of those?
Well, I said vegetarian because I wanted to let you know that you didn't have to be some big dramatic change maker, that anyone who's just sort of out there living in the world has a story to tell and something to teach us. So we've learned from people just making a decision to say change their diet and do something different with their life can be an inspiring act as well. So actually a speaker, this is kind of like was a big win for me as a host and a sort of speaker bureau. Abdi Iftin, who is an art writer, actually a refugee, now American citizen writer, was probably my most exciting speaker that we've had because I took a chance and just completely DM'd him on Twitter personally and said, "Hey, is there any chance that you would come and talk at Creative Mornings in Portsmouth?" He lives in Maine. And exactly, Tina, slide into those DMs. And he responded, and I remember just being blown away. I had reached out to his publicist at Penguin Random House and said, could we connect with the speaker? And they were like, "Sorry, we don't do unpaid events because Creative Mornings are free and our speakers are unpaid." And I was like, she's like, "But the publicist said, try to reach out to him directly. Maybe he'll respond." And he did. And it was one of those amazing engine of generosity moments that Creative Mornings is so well known for, where someone just said yes and came, and he's been on NPR. He's met presidents. He's an incredible, talented, inspiring speaker. If you haven't read his book, Call Me American, which is about his refugee story, I highly recommend it, and his journey sort of to being an American. So that one stands out for me just because it was sort of like I took a chance and I went out on a limb, and then someone said yes, which is what I've really learned from Creative Mornings is like the engine of generosity is alive and well in people all over the world.
I love that. That's amazing. Tina's always saying like she loves the internet and she loves the way that it can create those moments. So one last question for you. Is there a piece of feedback that you've heard from a past attendee that you just felt in your whole body?
I guess not what specifically one piece of feedback. That's a tough one, but if I were to single out something that I take with me from Creative Mornings, and I've heard time and again, is that just how much people value each other and being together. And when us as a volunteer team, and you mentioned all those tireless hours that we do to put these events on, sometimes get bogged down by the weight of our world and the weight of our responsibilities, the people in the community time and again will tell us this is important. Keep showing up, keep doing what you're doing. We need this. We love it. We look forward to it. And that is a great reminder for all of us that even when you think, you know, whatever it is that you're doing isn't making a difference or is too cumbersome, that even one person walks away from it feeling lifted in any way, that it's worthwhile. So I think I'd end with that.
Thank you so much, Noelle. Those are important words for us to leave on. We appreciate you so much. And I hope you have a good time walking out there.
Yes, I cannot wait. Thank you so much for hosting us. Us gaggle of Portsmouth Kittery folks are excited to be here.
We're loving the word gaggle this morning. This is awesome. Thanks, Noelle. I'm going to hand it back to Tina and David with gaggle.
Can I just say that Monte's smile is just lighting up this Zoom? This is incredible. And thank you so much, Noelle, for everything you're doing in a Portsmouth chapter. I'm getting all emotional here, like just listening to you all. All right, so we're so excited. We're so excited. David, this is it. We're doing it again. We're walking. I'm going to be walking too. I'm going to switch over to the phone, and I'm going to go outside with my dog as well. So time for the walk shop. If you are thinking of joining us walking, grab your phone, grab your shoes, grab your keys. You're in for an extreme treat because street wisdom is magic. It has literally changed how I walk the streets. I walk to my office every day for 20 minutes. And sometimes when I notice that I'm kind of like, a little like verklempt, I always remind myself of the prompt that is part of the street wisdom, to see beauty. And it snaps me out of it. It gets me like into a complete gratitude state. And it's such a gift. Like once you've done a street wisdom, you can never go back. And with that, I hand it over to David and Andrew.
Thank you so much, Tina. That's great. I mean, I think most of us had an issue with practice when we were kids. Andrew, who you're going to meet, is much more disciplined. He's a yoga master and a very dedicated kind of guy. I'm a little bit flibbity-gibbet. And so I wanted a practice that you couldn't avoid in a way. So having a practice that is about walking, because we all walk, right? So this is designed to give you a practice that's always accessible, easy to do anytime, and can turn the most humdrum. By the way, I'm deliberately using words because it makes Tina laugh. So like flibbity-gibbet and humdrum. I'm dipping into the English.
And wibbly wobbly? Is that another one?
Wibbly wobbly, we've got that one. There'll be a lot. And Philip, who's our producer and also a poet, is a great repository of wonderful, as being a poet. He is our poet in residence as well as our producer in residence. So just a few little words about street wisdom. It comes from work that I was doing for many years, working with people who worked in offices, often lived in offices, and noticing when they came out of it, when we took them out of the offices, they would seem to be just like more human, as though they left their identity kind of in the building. And I started to think of the streets, this walk time, as the space between our identities. It's kind of free time. It's our time. It's time for possibility. And over the years, just developed something and refined it till it was simple. So it's unforgettable. And we hope that will appeal to you creative people, because it's like primary colors. With the fundamentals, you can create many nuances and so on. So the simplicity of it, I think, accounts for the fact, and again, like Creative Mornings, it's free. It accounts for the fact that it's being practiced in 84 countries around the world, and is run by volunteers like Andrew, who you will meet shortly, who's going to take us through and tune us up. Let me just briefly give you a heads up about, I'm trying to not to be distracted by Casey's beauty, by the way. Everyone is mentioning that in our WhatsApp, but there's a kind of I don't know. It's just, could you turn your, no, you don't have to turn your screen off, but just like, don't be so beautiful, because it's kind of distracting. If you could, that'll be okay. Okay. So, of your soul as well, Casey. So where was I? Distracted. So it's in 3 parts. How many parts is it in? Anna Bilk. How many? 3? 3! There we go. You see, that's the kind of people we've summoned. We've blown the conch and people who get it. So 3 parts. The first part is what we call the tune-up. And I've realized that it's the wrong word. After 10 years, it's the tune-in is what it should be called. Tune-up, I'm a musician and I like to think of us tuning up. But essentially, we're tuning in. And why that's important is because just to get through the day, most of us have to tune out a lot of stuff, a lot of distractions, a lot of noise, a lot of la la la. Yeah, but our proposal to you is that we tune into those distractions and we follow them, see where they take us, that there's creative potential in the stuff that our logical, straight ahead minds is trying to keep away from us. You know, our egos want us to get on with the job, yeah? But there's another us that wants to explore the side paths and find stuff we didn't yet know. Okay, that's creativity in a way. We'll do that with a series of short walks, which or really wanders. Difference between a walk and a wander is, you know, walk is from A to B, and a wander is from A to who knows where. And the fabulous Andrew will take us through them. Part 2, yeah, is the quest. So once we've established this link, we've uplinked, we've logged into the world around us, rather than kind of treating it as a backdrop to our life or something to be conquered or, you know, kind of sort of pushed through. We start thinking of it more as our creative partner, our buddy, our, you know, plaything. It wants to play. Let's give it something to play with, right? So we ask a question. And that question can be anything. We'll talk a little bit more about it, but it's something you would value fresh answers to. Don't stress about what the question is, but not too big, not too small, and make it personal. And then we'd ask you to wander and see where your feet and your guts and your hearts and your body takes you, because what we're going to be doing now is really awakening our embodied intelligence. Yeah, that's partly what the walk's about. It's for centuries and centuries before books and before the iPad. We used this as our guidance system. It was, and it's still receiving the signals and it's still talking to us, but we may not be listening. So we're going to reawaken our inner GPS system in order to better navigate through the complexities of this wonderful world, this wonderful complex world we've created for ourselves. And thirdly, we'll meet together. We'll meet back on here. We'll call it the sharing. We often do it in a cafe, but here we'll just create the cafe atmosphere. And we'll share simply what popped out at you, including in the tune-ups, and how might it be an answer to your question. We're not in the world here of how it is an answer to your question. That's pretty rational and so on and so forth. We're really in the world of, it could be this, it could be that. We're going to allow ourselves to not quite know and allow things to be fuzzy. Any perfectionists on the call, by the way, just raise your hand. The perfectionists who want to see Buddha in the street, that's fine. Just chill out. It'll be what it'll be. Yes, there we go, Amanda. Yeah, I'm going to do this better. The maniacs of the game. Great, I'm one as well. Just relax. This is your practice. You'll get what you get now, but remember, this is your practice now whenever you want to use it. We good? Lovely. So let me introduce Andrew, who is fantastic, whether he is right way up or standing on his head, which he often does. He is my friend, confidant, collaborator, and he and I work together on the wonderful podcast, which you'll find on Spotify. Man of action, man of repose, musician and yoga master. Andrew, take it away.
Hi, thank you, everybody. Hello, David. I've noticed in the chat box that there's a lot of pups and dogs coming up. So I just want to balance things out a little bit for you here. There's a cat in the corner there, and we've been joined by another cat over there. So the cats are in, the dogs are in. Welcome to Street Wisdom. I'm going to take you through, I was going to say 3 tune-ups or 3 tune-ins, but I've decided that what we're actually going to do is a gaggle of tune-ups and tune-ins, okay? So the first tune-up, and just a little note before we start. If you are at home, if you're going to be doing this tune-up from your home, you may want to take your camera or turn your camera off. If you're out and about, as I can see some of you are, many of you have already done, just turn the cameras out so we can see where you're walking. And let's start. So these tune-ups, there are 3 of them. Each one will last approximately 3 minutes. And all you need to be able to hear is my voice. So at the end of the 3 minutes, I can call you back and take you on to the next tune-up. So the first one, your first tune-up, is I'm going to ask you to follow what attracts you. And you know how young children and babies, they see something in the distance, maybe something bright and shiny, and they just have a compulsion to move towards it. That's what we're asking you to do with following what attracts you. If you see something and it seems exciting, use your intuition, just let your body take over and move towards it. And use all of your senses. It's not just what you see. You might smell something in the streets, you might hear someone or something in the streets. Just go with the intuition and follow and see where it takes you. So after about 2.5 minutes, I will just let you know that we're coming to the end of the tune-up. But for now, I invite you to let your feet decide which direction you want to move in and simply follow what attracts you. And perhaps notice what doesn't attract you. Okay, off you go. So you have about 30 seconds or so left. So don't forget to look up, perhaps, look down, look to the left, look to the right. Just notice, is there anything else there that's drawing you closer? Okay, and we're back. So hopefully you can hear my voice again as we come to the end of that first tune-up. It is such a privilege, let me tell you, to be able to see you all walking around in all these different parts of the world. It just looks absolutely beautiful out there. Okay, let's look at tune-up number 2. So tune-up 2 is often cited as being the simple one, but I'm not so sure. So let's just see how we get on. And the thing that I would like you to do for tune-up number 2 is to slow right down. I even have problems saying slow right down as slowly as that, but that's what I'm going to ask you to do with your feet and your mind. Is for the next 3 minutes, I simply want you to, again, be led by your feet and slow everything down. And David has said in the past that one nice way of thinking about this is imagine that you're walking through some sort of sticky substance like treacle or a muddy walk perhaps. So you're forced to slow things down. Maybe turn the head slowly, maybe blink slowly. Try and breathe a little more slowly. Just take your time. And when you think you're moving as slowly as you possibly can, slow down some more. And we'll see you in 3 minutes. So as we come to the end of the 3 minutes, just keep on wandering, keep on walking. Just see if you can slow down even more. Amazing. Now, Now we're coming to the end of tune-up number 2. And you might find that the world suddenly seems a little brighter. There's a little more detail. Perhaps you can hear a little more clearly. Something may have changed within, inside, and is being reflected back outside. So let's go on to tune up number 3, our final tune up. What I'm going to ask you to do for the 3rd tune up is to see the beauty in everything. Although I was reminded the other day, we're not just going to see the beauty in everything, we're going to sense the beauty in everything. We're going to use all of our senses. And David reminded me, or once told me, that there is no such thing as love and hate. There is only love and judgment. And we do spend a lot of our time when we're wandering judging things. We either love something or we judge something. But what I'm asking you to do is to fall in love with everything that's in front of you, everything you see, even something that you might normally feel is ugly or distasteful or is just a piece of rubbish perhaps you come across on the pavement, or that beautiful dog. Look at that beautiful dog. So in the next 3 minutes, start your walk, start your wander, fall in love with everything, and just open your heart to the world. And I will see you in 3 minutes' time.
Our proposal to you is that you should follow to see where they take us.
Okay, so as you come to the end of this final tune-up, just keep carrying like something very lightly in the palm of the hand, that sense of being attracted to the world around you, that peaceful sense of slowing down, and that openness to everything that's in front of you. And I will hand you back to Mr. David Pearl.
So beautiful to watch and to sense through the screen, as it were, the change out there. Maybe just take a moment to take a breath and pause for a little bit. Not if you're in the middle of a road, Casey, but pause and then just take an inventory of the senses that have woken up thanks to the work you've just been doing with Andrew. And how might you be seeing more and sensing more? Maybe you don't quite end at the skin, at your skin, the way you did. Many of us will be feeling a kind of sensitivity that extends from our body out into the world. And if you do, then you'll feel the world is kind of reaching back to you and wants to play, a little like the dogs that we keep seeing. Perhaps think of the world around you as a puppy, a creative puppy that wants to play. And now we're going to let it play. It's going to use let's use this question as a plaything for you and the world around you. So bring to mind a question, if you will, that you'd value fresh answer to. Like I said before, not too huge. Why is there life on Earth? Or too small, like to breakfast or not to breakfast? Although actually for some of us that's a big question. And make it personal, and see if you can frame it in words as you would to an 8-year-old. So see if you can be super clear and try not to use jargon words and so on. Just try and because clarity is a good thing, right? If you're clear, then the bell will ring back in a clear way. That's you ring the bell, it'll ring back in a clear way. And then what I want you to do is take that question and just recite it like a mantra almost. And as you do, ask your body, not your eyes or your brain in this instance, but really your body, the stuff beneath your chin, where it wants to go. It might be your heart that tells you, or your guts, or it might be your hips, or you might have an intelligent knee, or your feet. If all else fails, just follow your feet. Let them take you where your brain wouldn't expect, in search of answers. And answers are going to come to you in many forms, no doubt. There might be words that spring out of cityscape, or book titles that you see on a shelf, or snatches of conversation, or it could be the way the sun glints on a leaf. It could be a snatch of overheard conversation, a piece of music heard through a window. These are all potential answers to your question. And what we'd love you to do is sort of open your mental harvesting bag and just begin to harvest the answers, and then bring back at least one thing that popped out at you. Might actually bring the object, but people often bring they take a mental photograph, or it's a phrase or a person, and it could be a person that you speak to, by the way, a piece of advice. It's always amazing when you talk to strangers and hear what they tell you. And then you bring that back, and we can share that. So this is your quest, it's your wonder. Keep asking the question. I may make a couple of nudges as we go, but your body is wise and the world wants to play. Just keep asking the question. And about 20 minutes time, we'll let you know it's time for the sharing. But for now, unhook from the watch, from the schedule, from the productivity, and go wander. Have a wonderful time. Speak to you soon. You're doing wonderfully. Just maybe check as you're questing, which senses are using more and which are using less. And maybe you want to break a pattern there. Notice if there are places you're not going, and whether you want to test that. That includes in your thinking. As Andrew said, remember to look up and down or get close to the ground, be grounded, or look into the sky. What's your angle of imagination, your angle of perception? You're doing beautifully, beautifully. Just keep collecting those answers and let your mind sit back and enjoy the ride. Speak to you before too long. You're just over halfway.
Probando, probando.
Okay, just take another couple of minutes for this quest and then we'll pause. We'll only pause because you can continue this whenever you want. But the last couple of minutes coming up now, and just see if you can really drink these 2 minutes in. Who knows? Maybe the answer is in the last second. Okay, so why don't we pause the quest there and remove your shoes. No, that's just what we're seeing on Tina's screen, although my shoes are off. And let's slide into this sharing. Welcome to the Sharing Cafe. And what we'd love you to do is to share, you know, at least one thing that popped out at you. What popped out at you? Whether it's an object or a word or a sight or a sound. And to think about how it might be an answer to your question. If you're near a laptop, it'd be great if you could put into the chat a hint of what popped out at you. That gives us a shared idea of what treasure you've been collecting. And if you're on mobile, sometimes it's a bit more difficult to use the chat function, although some of you are very skilled at that. You might just indicate that you're happy to share what popped out at you by using your facial muscles and smiling or winking or waggling an ear. That often helps. Just to let me know that you're happy to share something that popped out at you. Or a wave would do as well. The reason we do this is I think you'll find that when you hear what other people found, the answers they're getting, very often they speak to us as well. So it's a collective, it sort of amplifies the power of the sharing. Beautiful. So Lee had a question about time of day and what's the thing here for practicing on our own. It's going to sound an obvious answer, but it's up to you. I know people who are devotees of night walks. Others are real early morningers. I think if you are the sort of person that likes to systematize and you get power from saying you do something at every time of day, then choose that. The other thing, though, to think about is this type of thinking is available even minute to minute. It's something you can switch. It's almost like notice when you're walking, and not to fill all of your time with this, but know it's available whenever you're in movement. So Roswitha, go ahead.
Could I just add something, David? In
Please.
answer to that question, I love to go out on a street whiz walk when I'm stuck, when I feel I'm stuck, and that can be any time of the day. Sometimes it feels like it's all of the day, but those are usually the best times for me personally to just put my shoes on and get outside and start walking. And it will usually unstick me in the most surprising ways. Just moving can be very helpful.
Right. So Roswitha, you're our recruit from the world of the YouTube.
Not only, I have participated already in
Brilliant.
one of the wonders that you did with on a field trip some time ago.
That's wonderful. Did you manage to get out? And if so, did anything pop out at you?
Yes, I did manage to get out. I mean, I had to tend to my sourdough bread baking, so I was not able to go out all the time. But I went in the garden and I picked a late rose of the summer.
And that's beautiful. Couldn't be bread and roses. How wonderful. Perfect. And were you asking a question?
What was happening, because I spent like 10 minutes in the garden, was that I thought, oh yeah, I already loved the three tuning in, and in the garden I'm so surrounded with beauty. So it was like the beauty was the answer without me even asking a specific question. And then the neighbor passed by and he told me about that his kids have to go to the dentist. So there was then a sweet, and that he's trying to manage to get them there. So it was a sweet interruption also.
A sweet interruption. I love that. That's so great. Thank you so much, Roswitha. Monty, I've been wanting to say hi. You have that infectious smile. Tell us about New England fall.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a beautiful morning here in New England. I managed to pick up a couple of fallen leaves, and I kind of wandered through some underbrush and got caught up there a little bit. But it is a time. It is probably my favorite season of the year. These crisp, cold mornings and warm days, and personally, I've experienced some pretty tremendous loss this year. I lost a brother, and it is a reminder to me that we have to tell those around us that we love them and that we need to spend time. And there are a million little things I can do every day to show those around me that I care. And it's just remembering to do that. And as I'm standing here, I'm watching some chestnuts fall off the trees. But it is, yeah. So that was kind of my reflection, and it's also a great reminder of what a beautiful place that I am fortunate enough to live.
Thank you for sharing that, and in the way that you shared it as well. For it's touching in the for me, in what I got from it was this million small things. It made me think really. Are we chunking small enough? Are we looking at those small moments where we can appreciate people? And there are as many as there are leaves in nature. It's really, thank you, Monty. Thank you so much for that. What did people like about Monty's, like is the wrong word, but what touched you about Monty's story? And they are stories in a way. They're true, but they're also stories. In fact, I was struck when you talked about underbrush, how the word understory is what they call the underbrush, I think, in a forest. It's the understory. Interesting to me, anyway. The bit that doesn't always see the light. So what touched you about Monty's story? Anyone? Just indicate that you're happy to talk.
You know, when somebody says something that just hits you so deep, That was Monty just now. Like simple truths that just resonate so deeply that you just want to go and literally get off the Zoom and actually call a few people. So thank you for that, Monty.
Yeah. I'm also reminded of Roswitha's neighbor and how often the day-to-day stuff of life might sit on top of a request for relationship. What you want to do is link, and we use the kid's dentist as the way of doing that. But what they really mean is, I love you, or love me a little. Yeah. Thank you, Monty. There's so much. It's not just what you said, it's how you said it. Thank you so much for that. We do want to link, indeed. So I'm just having a look here at the very many things that have happened.
Hey, David, can I just quickly chime in and just like
Of course.
giddily say that I'm so excited that Christine from the Winnipeg chapter is here. Like we saw her before for a second with her like crew, and Michael, our host from Perth, is also here. So I just want to acknowledge there's Christine. There she is. Just
good morning.
Good morning. This is amazing. Thank you for tuning in.
Oh, thank you. It's been wonderful. We were just, the rest of the group was meeting in the coffee shop. We're going to do a tour of our Exchange District, which is one of the most historical districts in Winnipeg. And we've got about 20 people who are going to join us for the walk today. So I'm outside because it's a little noisy in there, but just wanted to check in to say hello and to give you a sense of where we are.
Thank you, Christine. And thank you for doing it the Creative Mornings way, gathering IRL. Love it.
Wonderful. We hope it's been going very well. I tuned into some of the live stream yesterday. It was amazing. So great. What a fantastic event. And I'm so impressed with our Winnipeg peeps who've actually showed up this morning.
Hug them all for me.
Thank you. I will. Yeah. And we'll keep streaming so that we'll turn our video or our audio off, but we'll keep streaming so that you can see us walk together.
Sounds good. Thank you, Christine.
Okay. Thank you so much.
So
sorry,
great.
David, for interrupting your sharing.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm just bathing in the beauty of it all, and that's great.
I get all mama bear. It was like, my children are here.
Yeah, but I love seeing Christine. Those of you who are watching, maybe on YouTube, Christine was very generous with her camera, and occasionally she would appear in a high-vis jacket, smiling. It's like she's having a great time. Noel Gratin. I'm loving the sky above your head, and we just wondered, did anything pop out at you, and would you be happy to share it?
Thank you. Somebody unmuted for me. I was trying to find on my phone. It's so hard to find where you unmute, and my hands are actually freezing. It is so cold here. For us, it's the coldest it's been for sure so far in the morning. It's the most brisk. I'm sorry, David. I was too busy like swooning over every word choice you say, bathing and gaggle and dripping and all the things you say make me just pause and say, I wonder, how do you just have all these words at the ready that are so poetic every second? I just want to be around you. It's amazing to just have you commentate on our walks. And anyway, thank you. What a gift.
It's really a joy. And you've also got, where are you calling from, Noelle?
I'm in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and I'm right outside the Music Hall, which is a very well-known landmark in our small but mighty city. It's also the host, our partner for our chapter here. The Music Hall Lounge hosts our events in their more intimate creative space, and the theater here is like an 800-person historic theater. It's an incredible space. But I've just been in awe, really. I've lived here in the Seacoast for over 20 years, and I have just been seeing everything with the freshest eyes this morning, noticing things I've never seen before, feeling lucky and very privileged and in awe of just everything. And so I think what came up for me today was, even when you're in a place that feels so familiar, that if you just, like your prompts, slow down, fall in love with everything, notice the good, the bad, what are you drawn to? Why are you drawn to it? What senses are you using? That everything is reborn again, fresh and new and clear. And I'm just so full this morning with experience in a place that's so familiar and yet feels so new. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, one of our dreams when we started Street Wisdom was that it would enable us to be strangers, travelers in our own town, have that kind of traveler, open-eyed, open-heartedness that we might have when we're on the other side of the world, but have it when we step out of the door. And part of that, Noelle, I mean, you're very sweet to say what you say about words, but I do think it's an exercise you can try. We could all try, which is walk down a very familiar street, point at things and ask, what do you call that? And imagine you don't know the name of things, because as we label things, we stop seeing them. Yeah? And very often we're in a foreign country, we have to say, what do you call that? And if you want to really go for it, is stop strangers and ask them, what do you call that? And what that does is it not only entertaining, but it also loosens the part of ourselves that desperately wants to look like we know what we're doing. And that part is super helpful sometimes, but it also can keep us, we start believing it. And then life, as perhaps with Monty as well, life throws you something and we have to relearn our vocabulary. So I think maybe that's something you just brought in, Noelle, this idea of words and how we use them also can change how we see things. Thank you. Anyway, so good. I want Olivier's nodding. I wonder, Olivier, whether you could speak. You look like you're in Beijing or somewhere. It looks amazing. In some grand square or something.
Thank you. Hello from Brussels. And I'm in a place that's called Cinquantenaire, Cinquantenary. It's like 50 years in English. And I would like to say to you, thank you so much from deep my heart for organizing that. Another occasion to connect with each other. And I love all the nuggets I'm going to really nurture myself with all what was shared. Thank you so much for organizing that. So hello, hugs and hot chocolate from Brussels.
I'm just going to say from the bottom of my heart, as a committed European living in London, I will never leave. The Pearls will never leave. We are always in Europe with you, and we yearn for a time when we can reconnect politically. But till then, let's keep doing this. Let's stay super connected. It's lovely. We are coming to the final Earth minutes of our time. Does anybody have I know Casey brought some leaves in Casey, you saw leaves Casey Greenleaf saw leaves. Who'd believe it? What did you see, Casey?
I saw so many things, but actually what I saw, which was very early on in the wander, was this. If I brought it back with me, I found this little roll of thread, which A, matched my jacket, which I thought was exciting, and B, the question that I was asking was like, what is my role here? And it was just interesting. I haven't fully meshed everything that I saw, but I saw a lot of like beauty and a lot of nature and just a lot of really nice like visuals. And then I was thinking about the thread. And like it's like, oh, is the thread perhaps like being I don't know, but there's still lots to percolate on, and I got a fun little toy, so I don't know what I'll use this for, but
Oh, it's a wonderful gift and a beautiful way to bring this to close. And by the way, everyone on the call is an expert in Casey. We've all got great ideas about what that thread means. The fil rouge, the fil rose. And yes, you are part of the thread. I think let's all just put our fingers out and touch the thread all around the world. We're all, thanks to Creative Mornings, thanks to Street Wisdom, thanks to all of you for turning up. We've all been and always are joined. We're all touching that thread all the way around the world. And it's I have to hand you that. Tina, just save me.
David, the love I have for you and your organization is so deep, and I think we're officially engaged now. Thank you for this gift, David, and Philip, and Vanessa, and everyone on Street Wisdom and on my team. This was a spectacular 24 hours. And David, let's find the other organizations that do what we do, and let's just keep growing this web of love, as I call it.
Yeah, we need each other now more than ever, and we will win.
No, we will transform.
We will transform, of course. Of course, I knew that was wrong. We will transform. I love that distinction. We will transform. Of course.
This is it.
This is the beginning. Let's start unfolding the thread. Casey, that couldn't have been more beautiful.
Mm-hmm. I guess. Are we ending this? Are we ending this with a video? Is that what we're doing, Team Creative Mornings?
I think we roll credits. That's what we do at the end.
Yes, coming right now.
This is the roll credits for the last 24 hours, amazingly.
They're literally our credits.
Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, Boris.
Oh my God, this is amazing. Thank you all so much. I feel like we're in the movie theater and we're slowly walking out now. Kyle and Philip, you are heroes. You did not sleep. Are they still here with us? I think they are.
Yep. You are
I think
amazing.
Kyle has probably duct taped himself to the desk so it doesn't fall over.
Oh my God, look at this. This is amazing.
It is a cast of thousands.
Oh, and can we also acknowledge Rachel and the baby?
Yes. Oh, there she is.
Rachel!
Rachel!
Oh my goodness, look at that little nugget.
She says, hey, hello from Ayla.
Oh.
There she
That's
is.
incredible.
Oh.
All right. David,
Okay.
close us out. You're good at this.
Have a wonderful time. And even though we are not connected at the moment digitally, remember, connection is in our nature. So just know that we're there. And when you need, just tug the web and, or what they call shake the weird, I think. Let's shake the weird and make great things happen. Deep thanks, deep bow, lots of love.
Thank you, everyone.